I don't know what's going on your end, but people are preparing for Jesus' birthday. All right, so you've seen the streets are gone blazing. Today's actually unit day. The streets are gone blazing. People are mad. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, the moment they start comparing Mnangagwa and Smith, oh, the ZANU-PF regime and the Smith regime, then we're in trouble. But I'm telling you that Clive Malunga said Mnangagwa is a useless coward. And again, he will never, or he will not pass 2026. 2025 is what people are saying that will be the end of the Mnangagwa regime. We are all watching and following all these developments right now. And the Chiwenga loyalists are hitting back. Are not They are reaching back at Mnangagwa supporters and say whether you like it or not, we will not allow Mnangagwa to tamper with the constitution. All I'm gonna say is Pachanga President Koko, let the fight, carry on. All we just want to spectate from a distance. Shout out to everybody and welcome to Ruby Uncensored once more again. I want to say to you guys, if it's your first time, okay, come across this channel, please subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell so that at least every time I'm live or drop a video, you will be robbed right here. So yeah, like you had earlier on that Mnangagwa once again is being called a useless coward. I'm a firm believer that if you don't do the right thing, you're always going to pay. You're always going to pay at some point. I think this is the time of Mnangagwa to reconsider, to really consider a settlement, because the way the things are going uh, down out there, no, they don't look good. They are not looking good. All right, so Zimbabwe Justice Fairness said Idi Mnangagwa is a narcissistic psychopath and they seek to integrate gratiate themselves with power, money, pleasure, and other niceties at the expense of others. They lie, cheat, steal, and manipulate to get their way, disregard people's feelings, needs, wants, and even safety to achieve their goals. Because you know that Mnangagwa bought himself a latest car in town. Yes, he's not only buying people cars, he also bought himself a latest car. The guy's living large. Every time he's buying himself a brand new car, is living large. That's all I can say. So Clive Malunga is on record this evening, mad. When I say mad, I'm saying mad. At EDM Nangagwa, and are saying to him, you will never see 2030. It's all a joke. Take a listen, please.
Mnangagwa 2030 havaisviki. Vakatoisa zvekutamba kana 2026 chete havaisviki. Why ndiri kutaura kudaro? Because Mnangagwa havazi Mwari. Tese tinoti isusu zuva ratamuka ndinopfugama ndoti Ishe ndinokutenda ine zuva ranhasi ramanditendera kuti ndione. Imimi muri kuona kuti simba imimi muri kumira pamberi pevanhu muchitaura kuti hanzi 2030. 2030 2030 kuita sei? 2030 yamuri kutaura yaMnangagwa pakuita sei? Muri Mwari here? Munotaura kana inini izvozvo ndiri kutaura izvo ndinoziva kuti mangwana angu akamira sei? 2026 chaiyo muri kuvashuridzira imi, vanogona kutadza kutoisvika futi. Asi even dai tasvika 2027 ndinokupikirai pano, ndinoenda kuchikurubhi ndichiti uyai munditore, ndini ndakazviturika ndega. 2030 yamuri kutaura aMnangagwa havapindi. This country is boiling. This country will never accept kuti Mnangagwa vapinde 2030. Take my word.
He's right. I mean, no one is agreeing to that nonsense, including those that are in ZANU-PF. Mnangagwa should never see 2030. That's all I'm going to say. Should never. 2030 is just a dream. Okay? It is just a dream. All I know is Mnangagwa is just trying. He's trying to see how Zimbabweans will react. This is why the pushbacks are very important. We should have flood social media and say, Mnangagwa, 2030, forget it. You are not doing anything right now, yet you are crying for 2030. It's a joke. It's a joke. Mushazurega said, only in Zimbabwe, an 82-year-old president sends a 62-year-old on retirement. And the retirement age, Yakwana, Mnangagwa is chaotic. He's not serious and he needs to go. Okay. And I must also tell you that ZANU-PF is a fraud. One thing that people don't know, if you genuinely listen to the history of Zimbabwe, you know that we're just dealing with frauds. These people are liars. Do you know, I think Joshua Ngomo was supposed to be the president of Zimbabwe. Everything was done through just eliminating each other, killing innocent people to get themselves to the top. All I can tell you is ZANU-PF is a fraud. this entire political party is definitely a fraud. Now, because it's Unity Day, people are remembering Ian Douglas Smith. I could not see a day where we talk really about Ian Smith. But this is what's going on social media right now. Now, they say tribute to Ian Douglas Smith. Imagine the scene: Ian Smith at the wheel of his Peugeot 504, navigating the streets of Salisbury with the poise and confidence. There were no visible signs of the heavy security, no driver, no adjutant, no bodyguards, or no police in sight. He was a god. And Lynn said, to tell you the truth, there was no need for removing him from power via AK 47. Instead, this lot looting and ransacking the country to a standstill deserves more than AK 47. All we needed was to protest against racial discrimination, change laws, not skin color of the leaders. What was the point? We all followed them back to the West, regardless of racism. The liberation struggle was about what exactly? Fighting to give a few greedy lot the opportunity to amass power and wealth. To what end? Are we free as we speak? Which I've always been saying that what is the point of chasing away white people and then you follow them to clean their bums? Can someone tell me what was the point? What was really the point of chasing away white people? Because as we speak, Mnangagwa's friends are white people. In fact, I've told you last time that the people, if you really sit down and think deeper, you find out that behind all that we are going through today, bleeding to death, is because there are people with their footprints. White people are working with Mnangagwa. And on the other hand, they say, no, we don't want white people here. It's all a lie. It is all a lie. Just playing people. It's all political nonsense, I can tell you. Now, talk about that. The Chiwenga people are pushing back heavily. They're mad, angry with the Mnangagwa regime. They're angry because, Mnangagwa is on record 2 days ago mentioning that anyone who's sent to defy the party definitely needs to chikomba then about this is the end. No, the Chiwenga people are hitting back that you need to keep quiet because Mnangagwa will not even get the 23rd that is going for. We will do everything in our power to stop him. I think at this juncture, it's not even about whether you are Chiwenga's faction or it's about Zimbabweans stand for what is right. Our only problem is that we allow people to get away with everything that we know is against our laws. Because I'll tell you why. There is a possibility if we don't stand now against Mnangagwa that whoever comes after him will repeat the same thing. Because what will stop them? Mugabe did the same. Now Mnangagwa is doing the same. If we don't put a stop to Mnangagwa now, anyone who comes after him will definitely going to repeat the same thing. Say, I can leave whenever I want to. Nobody can push me around because everyone else did it and they were never held accountable. So we need to hold people to account. Really, we have to stand firm and make sure that we put a stop to this nonsense. Take a listen, please, from Chiwenga's faction.
Despite kuti unobva kupi, unobva kuprovince ipi, ati mazona ndozvatiri kuda izvozvo. Munhu wese ararame zvakanaka. Mutaundi umu, mabig shops akafanana TM, anani ovhura, anachopisa. Maindustry ovhura, vanhu vaona mabasa. Ndo Zimbabwe yatiri kuda yakafirwa nana Tongogara. Yaitaurwa naTongogara kuti tiri kuda kuti vanhu vararame zvakanaka. Ndo Zimbabwe yatiri kuda isu. Andi mazona. Zimbabwe isina tribalism. Zimbabwe inotaura nezvirimwa chete. Zimbabwe isina rimwe rudzi rinonzi rudziru. Ndoro makaranga saka rakakosha. Ndoro rinosungirwa kuzara mukabineti. Aiwa, aisiro Zimbabwe yatiri kuda isu. Tiri kuda Zimbabwe yakabatana. Tikuda Zimbabwe inoerera huchi nemukaka. Ndo yakafirwa naTongogara. Ndo yaichemwa naTongogara kunzi. Ini chandiri kuda handisi kuda zvigaro. Hatisi kuda ma-leaders are in love with money. Toda ma-leaders are in love with people. Vanoda vanhu vane vanhu at heart. Kwete vanomora upfumi hwenyika vachiendesa Dubai. Kurarama nekupera vana veZimbabwe akangotambudzika hanzi enda unoona Scott. Akangotambudzika hanzi ningifondera ichivayo. Aisiro Zimbabwe yatiri kuda. Toda Zimbabwe kuti munhu anozvishandira. Unoona? Now, look now. December kai. Tine vanhu vane madegree izvozvo, vane madegree. Vakadzidziswa nevabereki mombe dzakatengeswa. Handi mazoona ka. But as I'm speaking now, amai vari kumusha vakatengesa mombe kuti mwana aende kuchikoro. Mwana akaita madegree. Mwana wacho akaita madegree izvozvo ane kana 7 years apedza. But basa chaicha haasi kuri one. Basa chaicha haasi kuri one. Ezvizvi Christmas yasvika iyi. Akwanisa kana kutumira amai chouiri kuti vararame. Handi mazoona. amai apo ane BP apo vari kurwara ani mazona kuzvipatara hakuna mushonga. Aisiriwo Zimbabwe yatiri kuda vakomana iyi hatisi kuzombofa takapeta maoko. Ino ukataura zve2030 padhuze pangu ndokurova mbama yakaipa yekuti hauzoda kundiona futi, ndokurova imwe mbama yekuti hauzoda kundiona. Ukanditaura zve2030 uri padhuze pangu fange ava anagarwa avo. Zimbabwe to go forward, Chivhayo anofana kusungwa. Motikari dzese dzaakapa vanhu dzese dzaakutengesa bisa mari yenyika achipana Japres achipana ningi kana tabvisa Mnangagwa pachigaro, motikari dzese idzo dzinofana kutengeswa dziva dzaendeswa kuma-auction, mari yacho torwa yobva yaendeswa kuzvipatara. Chivhayo anofana kutaura kuti mari iyi ari kuiwana kupa ana industry inomupa mari kwaari kuitora tikukuziva. Anofana kutorerwa imba yobva yatengeswa nestate, mari yacho yobva yadzorerwa government, yobva yaiswa muma-institution egovernment. Garwe uyo imbavha ari kufana kusungwa. Garwe handibva zvinzwaka, regai ndikutaurire final. Garwe ari kufana kusungwa. Garwe kana achinge asungwa ari kufana kuita account nemari dzaakaba Garwe. Handibva ndizwisaka. Ezvezvi zvaatanga kunyepera vanomusangana chakupai maoffer letter, ari kuenda kunana dinota atanga kukorecha mari. Tanzwa kuti pane kapepa kari kufamba, pane vanhu vari kukorecha mari, pane mamwe mataikuni futi ari kunzi akuti tikuda land ipapo kudinota ikoko tichazodai. Zvese zvinhu zvinosvika tikuzviziva. Ani mazvionaka aisiriyo Zimbabwe yatira. Garwe anofana kusungwa. Saka mukaona achiti Mnangagwa ngaafirepo, Mnangagwa ngaafi, chaari kungotaura ipapo ndechekuti ari kuda kuramba achiba. Ani mazvona. Saka wese akaba achifunga kuti Mnangagwa achafira pachigaro kana Mnangagwa ari kuenda ku2030, tomumisa Mnangagwa wacho. Manzwa? Achida kana asingade tomumisa. Ani manzwa? Tomumisa. Izvezvo kutoti zii kudaika. Tanga chitofunga kuti pamwe zvatakatanzwa nerinye rekupe kuti ari kuda kuchinja constitution, ndo yatangomirira ipapa kuti akatoitanga kutoichinja kana mangwana, the next day you're gonna see what is going to happen. Ndo zvatimisa chete izvozvo. Takakumirira Mnangagwa iwewe neshamwari dzako kuti uchinje constitution. Immediately waichinja constitution pachamhanywa zvokuti tinotsona kuratidza kuti maZimbabwe ana kupusa, because imimi maifunga kuti isu takapusa, hatina kupusa. Ani mazvona. Tine vamwe vana vakadzidza vane madegree vakushandiswa kupota uchipiwa data. Unoenda kuchikoro woenda unodzidza, wafanira kunge pamwe utone position paZBC uchizvishandira uchiraramisa munhu, but unorarama nekupiwa data nemumwe murume kuti uende pasocial media kunotaura tsvina muchidefenda mbavha dziri kubira nyika. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Unoziva pesa apa pandaikura ndaifunga kuti kudzidza ndo wisdom. Ndaifunga kuti kana munhu akadzidza munhu anongwarira mukunge njere dzake dziri kumberi. But I begin to see kuti even munhu adzidza akaita madegree unogona kutonga uri dofo even une madegree. Because tiri kuaona mamwe matofo ari kutaura zve2030 nyika ichitambudzika kudai. Ezvezvo vanhu avasikwanisa kumboti vaenjoy Christmas. Vanoenjoy Christmas yacho mari iri kupi? Christmas iri kuenjoywa nevana vaMnangagwa nemabhuru ake nevana vamaminista. Ndo vari kuenjoy. Masoja esa haana chaari kuwana. Ufunga kuti wakapa musoja 250 US. Ichii chinonzi 250 chinopiwa musoja? Ane mhuri, ana amai vada kurarama. Ane masona. Ane vana vada kurarama. School fees ziri kudiwa. Isi tiri kuti vaMnangagwa ngavachienda. Enough is enough. So 2030 mahumbwa. Ane masona ka? Kana panatsopinda vatungamiri tichaona nekubva vatosvika vachitaura kuti free education, kuzvipatara mishonga yobva yawanika, vanhu vorapwa mahara. Ndozvatiri kuda izvozvo. Maindastri obva avhura, mari ichapawa paeconomy apa, kwete kusvikira muchitenderedzwa nanamuturi Ncube nevanhu vaED. Hatidi. Ine I'm not a bootlicker. I'm not doing this kuti ndakanzwa vamwe vachiti muri kutaura imana nyoka yemabhunu nekuti muri kuda kuti mupindewo mugovernment muzowana kuba. Handina chandinoda, but what I want, ndakangoona vane Zimbabwe vachifara. What I want, ndakangoona muzvipatara muine mishonga. Ndakarwadziwa pandakaona mumwe munhu anga ari muchipatara achinzi haasi kurapwa nenyaya yekuti hakuna mishonga, gumbo richitenge rakuora akasungwa nechipuranga kudai. I see you Zimbabwe yakarwirwa. And let me tell you and open to you enough. VaMnangagwa havasirivo vega vakarwa hondo. Kune maofisi akawanda. Takaona maofisi achirarama zvakanaka. Takaona maofisi achirarama upenyu hwakanaka vachizvidyira zvakanaka. Because maofisi haisisiri time yavo yekuti vachishanda ezvozvo. Because vakatoshanda kare. Vanhu vaive vane tendere kurarama zvakanaka. Because Hapana Zimbabwe pasina maofesi. Zvino takaona vamwe vacho vakuroweswa namuturiku. Idea upinde denga iwe. Regera zvako zvokuvhura mabhaibheri because iwewe ukashandisa maofesi 2017 uchavimbiseni chazokuitira zvakati zviri zvakazetwa. Makati ngavabvetwe ngavadai vamwe vacho hapana chavakawanana nasi. The same zvavaitwa 2017 navamugabe ndo the same zvakanga wakuita maovheti iwe vachisungwa nekwamuturu. Maovheti vari kuti upenyu hwedu wakomana hunoita zvakanaka. Iwe unotuma vanhu vako kuti maovheti ngaasungwe. Ona zvino maovheti akuenda mujeri. Vamana iyi nyika ikai haimboda kuti tinopiwa mari kuBritain kuti tiite zvakanaka. Haimboda kuti tipiwe funding kuAmerica. Nyika yedu yakatoropafadzwa kudhara. Takangoziva kuti maminerals atina wakadai. Pobva pane ndinoitwa management yakanaka. Chinhu chauraya nyika mismanagement, corruption, two of this thing. Ndo zvinhu zvauraya nyika yedu izvozvo. Ndo zvinhu zvauraya nyika yedu. Saka isu tiri kuti hapana ari kuzoenda mu2030 nyeperana istereke mugodi takakumirirai pakuchinja mutema ndopatakakumirirai. Hatisi mafuzi. Makafunga kuti vana veZimbabwe vanotya stereke. Makafunga kuti vana veZimbabwe vakapusa stereke. Manje now I'm telling you and I'm warning you. Nyaya dzenyu dzokuba mari yenyika muchita mune muchita mufunga kuti Zimbabwe ndenyu. Mnangagwa anga ari mugovernment Mnangagwa kubva 1980 ari mugovernment. Makore mangani 40 something years ari mugovernment ari minister achinja different portfolios ari minister ari mazinzwa. After that aita 40 something years ari mugovernment ari minister. Ndobva apiwa kuti mumwe mukana kunzi mumwe mukana uyu. Abva avimbisa vanhu akati pa 90 days nyika inenge yanaka hapana chakabuda. Temu yekutanga ngwambu yapera. Yechipiri iyo yakutopera ngwambu yakutopera. Akuda imwe temu. Makajaizwa.
All right, it's getting interesting. We are watching very closely. You know, anything that happens here, I actually don't even give a damn. President, what do we want? There must be war in the enemy's camp. All right, so Neighbor Masura said the day Mnangagwa falls, will evacuate everybody from Briquette farm, the farm of Mnangagwa, and forfeit to the state. It will become other farm producing for the nation. Emerson and his 65 kids from multiple women will be assisted to go and build kitchen huts in Bikita, if not to Mumba, to Zambia. Wow. All right. This is interesting. It's getting wild. It really is getting wild. This is what I say, Mr. Mnangagwa. Honestly, it's about your legacy. If I were you, you'd sit down now and talk about transitional authority. That's for me. That's what I'm expecting. But when you keep on wanting to force to say, no, I need to leave in 2030, you're just looking for trouble. Because, you know, now I can say shout out to Mutanga, because Mutanga made it very clear. If you guys want to remove ZANU-PF, you need to do what Smith did. But let me tell you, in 2024, we're not fighting with a gun. There are so many ways to fight the enemy, because you are the enemy of the state. Corruption, the lies that you tell, abuse of human rights. So with that being said, you are our real enemy, and we will do everything in our power to fight this evil that you're doing in the country. So, Mr. Mtangwa, we're right on the track. We heard you, and we took your word. We've got it 24/7. Here we are, head on. Let's see who's going to fall. Let's see who is going to fall. Let's go. The fight is on. The fight is on. And I'm getting excited because right now we've got 3 men who have come out. And I'm just going to say, this is what we are talking about. When we say one man who's standing be at the forefront, really standing for what's right, this is what we are referring to. And I'm expecting men across the world to really call out that Mnangagwa needs to step down, because Mnangagwa is not a leadership material. And I've been saying it. He has failed beyond reasonable doubt. So we don't even need him to actually. You remember last time he came and then he removed Mugabe. I remember Mnangagwa said, you said, if people say I must resign, I will resign. Because the power is the voice of the people is the voice of God. This was Mnangagwa. So now we want to say to you, Mr. Sam, you said, if you say I must resign, I will resign. And you also said that the voice of the people is the power of God. Here we are, Mr. Mnangagwa. We expect you to step down because you have failed. All these shenanigans of spending money on cars and all manner of things, these are not characteristics of a leader. And with all due respect, if I were you, you'd really consider a transitional authority. Otherwise, this thing's not going to end well. All these tags, when we cannot just magic, I just hope we can all be able to run. My prayer is we can all be able to. All right. So somebody tweeted and said to Wikino, before you go to bed every day, you should be able to take yourself some ginger, garlic, and turmeric. At least maybe you can be able to drain that tummy. That's what people are saying. Okay. All right, that's all me. Okay. Just say some more. All right, that's all right. All right. So you just need to take ginger, garlic, and turmeric. Okay. All right. Hmm. I pray he's going to be able to run. That's all I'm praying for. Okay. So moving on. Let's move on, please. Now, Chiwenga is in India. Okay. Chiwenga is in India touching dead bodies. And I'm like, something is not right with Zanpia. I don't know what he's doing, but this guy is touching dead bodies. I don't know if it's a prayer. Let me read what Majara Jero said. Okay, it said VP, which is Chiwenga, and wife and children as well, seeking blessings from incorruptible God. Okay, scared relics of Saint Francis Xavier in India. So maybe that must be for the Roman Catholic. Please forgive me if you're a Roman Catholic person. And the family also sought protection from scarf more, referring to Mnangagwa, were given ready scarves to repel voodoo. Okay, to repel voodoo from the other scarf. And I was referring to Mnangagwa's scarf, not the one that he's moving around with. So ED has been plotting against Chiwenga. This is actually Majara Jaros who mentioned that. And I can see also HSTV, the Standard is reporting that the Standard reports that those backing VP Chiwenga are now under attack. Under attack, there is intimidation and victimization that is targeting those against the ED Mnangagwa 2030 slogan. You also heard recently that Jimmy Kunaka's house was burned down. Okay, I can guarantee you it's their factional nonsense. But again, Mukoma Jimmy, you remember when we told you that when you support evil, it's just a matter of time before it gets at your doorstep. So if you're a wise person, you stand for what's right all the time, even if it's uncomfortable. Because I can guarantee you, those were just your seeds. Now you see, the very same regime that you were the forefront is singing and say, here's ZANU-PF, yeah, yeah. That's why those that are in ZANU-PF currently should actually be worried. Should be worried because your time is coming. Your time is coming. It is around the corner. So yeah, Mnangagwa is after Chiwenga's faction. He's trying everything, every trick to silence people. But Mr. Mnangagwa, in 2024, you can't win the battle because for you, it's not only Chiwenga's faction that you say is fighting against you. It's the entire Zimbabwe across the world don't want you and ZANU-PF anymore. So let that be clear. We do not want nothing to do with the ZANU-PF and with the Mnangagwa himself because he has been an architecture of most of the problems that we see in the country today. And it's on record, Mr. President. Whether you like it or not, it is on record. All right, so let's move on, please. So let's explore the Chiwenga ambition. I've told you last time that he wants to be the president, but now he is suggesting that he wants to apply the Kagame style, Kagame style is, Kagame used to be in the military, right? Okay. Now the question I have for you, Mr. Chiwenga, is first and foremost, you already in government, you have been there for decades. In fact, the military is always have an upper hand. Why did you fail to implement whatever you wanted to implement? Why only now? Why now? Where have you been? Because we've always had the military at the forefront. So why now? Why only now? Why do you want to implement Kagame style now? Is it the first time for you to actually know that there's Kagame in Rwanda? Just want to find out. But anyway, because there were arguments regarding this issue, and in terms of that, Kagame is a dictator. Remember? So if then Chiwenga is saying, I want to come in and apply Kagame, so are you referring to the dictator? I heard some people say they want to mute elections for about 10 years while Chiwenga is in position. I'm like, Lord, please, can somebody pinch me? Can somebody just pinch me? Because I dare you. Yay! Wow. 10 years. With all these seconds that we see today. All right. I disagree with that. I no, I don't. But anyway, what was you want to begin to explain? No, I don't know if he was addressing that because there were arguments back and forth on social media as far as the Kagame dictatorial tendencies are concerned. Now, this is what Opochimano said. He said, I have started on the record many times that I don't care who runs Zimbabwe. Okay, let's put that on record. I don't care who runs Zimbabwe. That's a lot. I don't care who runs Zimbabwe. Okay, as long as they are competent, honest, visionary, and they are not part of a looting cartel. But then Chiwenga is already off here because people have been accusing him of also being part of the looting cartel. So Chiwenga's out there. So Chiwenga is definitely out. Okay, let me carry on. So ordinary Zimbabweans would not have cared how long a Robert Mugabe stayed in power if he had been competent, honest, visionary, and composed this. Unfortunately, he was none of those four things when he left office by a military coup. And Mnangagwa is no different either. That is why progressive Zimbabweans want change. They want a better economy with hospitals that work, roads that are not potholed, employment opportunities, and more tangible things like they have in Rwanda. America had a president who stayed in power for 12 years. His name was Franklin D. Roosevelt. He died in office in 1945 during his fourth term. He stayed in power that long due to circumstances specific to America at the time, including the Great Depression and World War II. He argued that America needed a leader with experience and a steady hand. Americans agreed and voted for him 4 times. Rwanda, like Singapore, has taken a path that works for them, and I judge them based on their output. Malawi, with its Westminster style democracy, is an embarrassing economic mess, worse than a dictatorship like Muammar Gaddafi, who actually looked after his people. Nobody would have minded Mnangagwa's self-desired length tenure if his regime were delivering public services, demonstrating vision, and growing the economy substantially. Instead, Mnangagwa's regime has made Zimbabwe a laughingstock, is Rwanda a laughingstock. Term limits were put in place for people like Mnangagwa and Chakwera who have failed to deliver anything under their watch. They are also a reflection of a country's history. Britain has no term limits due to its specific history. The head of state is the king who remains in power until his death, and the head of government is the prime minister who also serves without term limits. France is an example of a Western country that removed presidential term limits in 1873, although it later reinstated them in 2008. It introduced a two-term limit for the presidents as part of the constitutional reforms under President Nicolas Sarkozy. So, constitu- constitutions can be changed, but those changes must not hinder human and economic progress. They must enhance them. Before the France changed its presidential term limit system, there were no term limits, meaning a president could run for office as many times as he wished. They, so as long as they won elections, they did what they did in the national interest of the country. Countries are where they are today because of their variant historical journeys. Some needed a firm hand to develop, like Singapore. Others, like Zimbabwe, won independence through the gun, which is why they have a military problem in their politics. The military is partisan, and even the main opposition leader takes, I want you to underline that, even the main opposition leader takes advice from the factions of the military because he believes that is the path to power in Zimbabwe. So they're accusing Chamisa of working with the other part of the military. Okay. Others like Rwanda that were also forced to use the gun to remove a failed regime are growing. So the solution to Zimbabwe would be different from prescriptions needed to say Rwanda or Singapore. We always made the mistake of comparing democracies and thinking that one size fits all. Democracy in Britain evolved over a long period of time, but its foundations can be traced back to the Magna Carta in 1215, which limited the powers of the king and laid the groundwork for what they have today. It has been a journey of 809 years finding out what actually works for them. America has been a democracy since the ratification of its constitution in 1789. That is 235 years. In the United States, women only gained the right to vote in 1920. Britain gave women over the age of 30 who met the certain property requirements the right to vote with the um, representation of the People Act of 1918. Full voting rights to women over 21 was only in 1928. So the different journey is going. All right, I agree with some of the things that he said. It's unfortunate that the Zimbabwean problem is far bigger than simply appointing a president. It's a culture problem. Okay. It's a culture problem because I don't understand the purpose of a person just refuse to respect the constitution like what Mnangagwa was doing. Let's forget about Mugabe because we know we went through that journey. But now we are looking at a man who saw the pain of the Zimbabwean people, who came in 2017 and lied. No, he lied to the Zimbabwean people that you guys have got the power, whatever you says go down. But fast forward maybe a month or so, now we had Chinamasa saying, no, this is a ZANU-PF thing. If you look closely and actually be able to follow through the history of Zimbabwe, before 1918, the ZANU-PF is always applying all these fake unity thing. Let's unite, and then before unite, they start the fight. Let's unite. Before unite, they start the fight. So because of that, Zimbabweans no longer trust ZANU-PF as a party. This is why not only people say Mnangagwa must go, they also say ZANU-PF in totality must go. And I must say this, when they say ZANU-PF must go, they're not referring to Zimbabweans, because I don't know why we are so obsessed with political parties, forgetting that we are Zimbabweans before a political party, or we are Zimbabweans before a politician, or a politician is a child, is a Zimbabwean first before they have a title of being a president. So the challenge here is a culture that is ZANU-PF built over the years, a culture of greedy, a culture of violence. Because if there was no violence in Zimbabwe, we could have changed presidents over the years. In fact, if Chamisa got access to presidents in 2018, we'll be talking about having a new president by 2028. Because his term could have been gone now 10 terms, brother, goodbye. But unfortunately, because of ZANU-PF's shenanigans, we are in this mess. Now Mnangagwa wants more time in the office. You ask yourself questions. Why, sir? Knowing exactly where we are coming from. It's a culture of disrespect. People think the moment they have a position, now they are bigger than the country itself. So we need to look at situations as they are. Zimbabwean culture needs to change. That's why we will never grow. We will never reform. We will never build like other countries. We will never match. In fact, Mnangagwa himself is on record confirming that we're like 1,000% behind. In fact, I think 1,000 is unfair. It's unfair. I think we are 30,000% behind, sir. 30 years. In fact, I don't know for how many years we've been behind. Any person who uses violence to be in position is not a qualified individual to actually be able to lead, because leaders are not violent. Genuine leaders understand that you can actually let someone lead, and that's all right. But once you want to be the only one at the forefront, you're the wrong person. It proves beyond reasonable. Even Mugabe, I don't think Mugabe was the right person to be the president of Zimbabwe. Gomo was. Because he proved it. By fault, you unite the Zimbabwean people. In fact, you divide the people. He started all the mess that we have today. Mnangagwa came, he made it worse. So all of them, Mnangagwa and Mugabe, were not leadership material. So until we address the issue of the culture that we have in the country, nothing will work. We should never resort to violence. We should let you sit around the table, guys. Look at other countries. You guys are flying. Last time I saw you in China, sitting like dummies, and you say almost all countries were writing notes. Only the Zimbabwean people just sitting like some strange, deranged individuals. They don't have a clue of how the world works. We are so behind that even our behavior, and the Muswere knows what I mean by that. I don't remember last time when I watched a video where, was it a picture or a video that Muswere posted on social media? When I'm talking about Muswere, I'm talking about Jensen Muswere, who is actually the Minister of Information. I'm saying the Minister of Information in Zimbabwe, okay? This man posted a picture on X. Listen, yo, this picture had different people, guys, sitting around, okay? They're in a meeting. The kettle, boiling water, maketo, masosa, orange juice, our orange juice, the orange one, Mazoe orange crush, because I don't take it, so I always forget about it. So Mazoe orange crush was there. There was makapu, chips, my snacks. I'm asking myself, for 40 something years, you don't even have a tea maker machine. You don't even have a coffee maker machine where you can put cups there and everything there. They don't have a clue in 2024. These guys are acting like, I don't know, some crazy individuals. You can't understand that you can't run a meeting with all these things because it will disturb the entire meeting. It will cause chaos. That's why you need to make sure your desk is always clean. It's the culture. There's a problem that Zimbabwe has to be changed. Guys, 2025, the sun has to stop. We need to make sure 2025, We do away with the evil that is in the country. We do away with. Listen, Mnangagwa needs to hear us and hear us well, because it's caused so much pain in the country. This man is only focusing on power and the looting thing that happens, because every report as far as financial illicit flows, Mnangagwa's name is attached. He's part of the looting syndicate. Him and Kurata Gwire, who always robbed in every report that is right now on Google. Mnangagwa is at the forefront of looting. You also saw even the gold mafia. Mnangagwa was at the forefront. He was called the number one guy. The fact that there is nothing going on in the country except chaos, it's a testament that Mnangagwa is not the leader that should be actually championing Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, people surrounding Mnangagwa are not honest with him, but they should be telling him, say, sir, things aren't okay here. Things are bad. But if they are just lying to him, no, say everything's all right. You know why? Because they're the ones that are looting. But at the end of the day, it's taking us absolutely nowhere. We need to fix Zimbabwe. If we genuinely want people to take us serious, we need to fix this country. We need to work together. There must be genuine unity of purpose. All Zimbabweans across the world and the ones in the country, let's hold hands, understand that there is Zimbabwe first before we also counted. But if you think you are Zimbabwe, no, something is not right. It's you, your family, and your children, your wife, concubines, disrespecting in front of us. No, that doesn't cut. It does not cut. Anyway, we're gonna close right here. So there's a story that is trending, very interesting story that I cried at first, but then I began to smile. So there's a story that is trending right now. This story here is actually discussing about a man with 4 kids. I don't know if you guys have seen it. That attitude actually showcased, because you're always connected with those stuff that you know. Okay, so a father with 4 kids was left by a wife. That's because you are too poor. Okay. That makes you to understand why do you even get married to a person if you know? First of all, you knew the guy was poor. Second of all, you were having these children. Now all of a sudden you are leaving the person because they're poor. Now because God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond. God, the God Almighty, all knowing, all powerful, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the Alpha and the Omega. The one that can send ravens to feed you. The one that can do that. Now that story came out, and man, shout out to Zimbabweans. I love you all. You're amazing people. So people came together and they're building this family house. And I'm telling you, they're not going to end by building houses. I know that they're going to actually be able to buy food. And please, if you can stretch your hand, just find out stories that are out there and just be of a blessing to people. You never know, God is going to bless you. But I must say this, you don't leave your husband because he's poor, okay? Because this is what God does. Look, I can only imagine where the wife is now. She's like, I want to go back. No, ma'am. It's too late. You left your husband because he's poor. Now that his life has changed, God is going to send him the right woman. It's over, y'all. It's over, ma'am. Next time, you don't leave your husband because he's poor. You have to hold his hands, because remember, it's you and poverty. So both of you can hold hands and address poverty, but you can't leave your love because they don't have much. That's not wisdom. Wisdom is profitable to direct. You work with the person and come out of the mess. I love you. God bless you, and God bless Zimbabwe. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.